right over there, ma'am.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Shock and distress from the wife of Antronie Scott moments after he was shot and killed by a San Antonio police officer 6 years ago.
Now, that officer says he shot the 36-year-old because he thought Scott's cell phone was a gun. The city council just signed off on a $450,000 settlement for Scott's family.
And video of that deadly incident has never been seen by the public. KENS 5's Marvin Hurst has the footage now.
Yeah, Marvin joins us now with the story. You'll only see Marvin on KENS 5.
Yeah, Barry and Sarah, former Bexar County DA Nicola Hood was so sure about clearing Officer John Lee. He didn't even put this case before a grand jury. It's a privilege a DA can exercise. So let's get to the evening in question. Lee came to help undercover detectives arrest Scott on drug and weapon warrants, but it would not go as planned. In the controversial shooting death of Antronie Scott, there is a piece of video that has only been seen by a few. Until now. You're looking through the lens of the camera installed in the SUV of then San Antonio police officer John Lee. It's February 4th, 2016. Lee is waiting on instructions from undercover officers to move in on a drug and felony weapon suspect named Antronie Scott. When Lee drives into the parking lot of a North San Antonio apartment complex, the escalation is instant.
Let me see your head. Shots fired, shots fired.
Here's the point of conflict one more time.
Let me see your head. Shots fired, shots fired.
As Lee and San Antonio police would learn, Scott was holding a cell phone in his hand.
Why would you pull out with a gun with that like that? Start EMS. Start EMS.
Because of the way Scott got out of his Mercedes and an unknown object in his hand, the officer said he feared for his life. Lee is never seen on camera. The man in uniform is a different officer, and the people we've blurred out are undercover.
I wish you wouldn't come out like that, brother.
In a previous interview on this shooting, former Bexar County District Attorney Nicola Hood found no criminal fault.
And when I ultimately evaluated all the evidence in the full investigation, I didn't believe it was appropriate to even present to a grand jury because I believe that Mr. Lee had done nothing wrong with intent.
At the scene, Scott's wife had a different view.
Can I check him, please?
Stay right over there, ma'am.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Officer Lee was patrolling in the area. He had no idea what they were doing. He responds to the call. They give him instruction. They told him which car it should have been. He had not looked at the layout of the apartment complex. He knew nothing about the suspect other than he had warrants.
Stay with me, buddy. Stay with us.
Scott would not survive the gunshot wound to his chest.
Yes, sir. Send me an ambulance to my location for looks like a dead 30-year-old male, gunshot wound to the chest.
And while you can hear the shooting, there's a reason you can't see it.
And you could hear over the radio as he was coming around the parking lot, they screwed up, in my humble opinion, and he went past them and they said, stop, stop, stop. So he ended up stopping and put himself in a perpendicular, which is not a tactically advantageous position to be in.
Lee's car positioning did not align with SAPD procedures. A source who reviewed the case reveals there was no way to meet that standard that evening, and police have a caveat that permits exceptions depending on the terrain. The same source also says crime scene investigators found 17 small bags of confirmed cocaine on Scott the day he was killed.
Breathe.
Scott's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against San Antonio and Officer Lee. They say he never presented a danger to the officer.
They're coming, buddy. They're coming.
San Antonio police parted ways with Lee for an unrelated reason in February 2020. Medical investigators say the 41-year-old died of a toxic combination of prescription drugs 5 months later.
Motion carries.
San Antonio has now settled the lawsuit with the Scott family for $450,000, hopefully putting what happened in this parking lot to rest.
Let me see your head.
In a statement, the city attorney's office says that this settlement is in the best interest of the city and the community, and by settling this, we would avoid what would be a lengthy trial and appeal process and allow all parties to move forward. Barry, Sarah, taxpayers paid approximately $250,000 in legal fees plus the settlement. So we're talking around $700,000.